Dang, sick car, Paul. You must have gotten a raise. What are you doing? You give it a little more gas. You're shifting so early.
Granny shifting, not double clutching like you should.
Just going over was originally just going to go over the runner and doing some smart carb tuning, and I thought I got some pretty cool bikes in here and figured I would kind of get them all out to show you guys. These are kind of like the wildest bikes, I guess, or most rare or uncommon here in the shop and in the United States, actually. So kind of go over, these are the main bikes. That one is sold, that Aerox has been sold, but you guys probably have a history on a lot of these bikes. I figured it'd be cool to kind of like go over these bikes, what they are, pros and cons, what they're good for, what they're not good for, and get a little bit of riding in. The booster needs some tuning because I only have about 5 minutes on that bike. All of these bikes have smart carbs on them except for this one, but we'll start off with we'll just start off with the runner. So the runner, and again, we have some other videos on it, but the runner is my go-to for like a long ride. If I'm gonna do, you know, a couple hours or whatever, and you still want to be able to pull wheelies and cruise and have storage, electric start, comfortable ride, that's kind of my go-to. That bike is good for racing. It's not light, right? If you look at the size, it's a big bike. It's probably, I'm guessing it weighs, you know, 220, 230. It's a pretty heavy bike. But charging system, which is nice, so it's not like a full-blown race bike by any means. It's like, I consider this a touring bike. You can kind of do anything with it. So that's kind of my go-to for longer rides. It's been reliable, it's comfortable, and these, I'd say there's probably I know of one more in the United States. I'm guessing total there's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 max. I've only seen one for sale, this one. Swooped it up. It was a wreck. You guys can watch all of our other videos on it, but I'm guessing there's probably 4 or 5 in the United States. I know of one more. Colin Sportique Scooters has one. Aside from that, I don't know of any others. Obviously, there are some here, I'm sure, but they were never supposed to come here, and it's a GIlera or GIlera, however you pronounce it. Super cool bike, 180cc, liquid cooled. You've got front and rear disc brakes on these guys. It's got the full Malossi suspension. The plastics are aftermarket. I'm gonna be honest, they're trash. They crack and they break and they split. So I have the OEM ones, but they got to be stripped and repainted. But again, you guys have seen kind of a lot on this bike, but it's been sitting since last night. I put the smart carb on it, so most of today's video is going to be riding and do a little bit of tuning and tweaking and show you guys what's involved. So I'm going to try no choke and see what happens with that carb, and I have a feeling it'll start right up. There you have it, first kick. Believe it or not, what I find with a lot of these larger CC bikes and even the twin is they start freakishly good. I don't know why, but they typically start really good. This bike, I ran it yesterday just for a little bit. No choke, fired right up, 13 volts. I'll let that one warm up. So now we'll move over to the Aerox. Aerox running a smart carb as well. This bike, I'm gonna do a whole video on this specifically for the owner, and I may as well make it for you guys too. And it's just going to show what's been done, top to bottom detail, and just do a once over on like the EGT system, the Malossi water pump controller, and we have some timing controls under the seat and whatnot. See, it may need so we got to charge a battery on this because it's deader than the doorknob. So won't be able to run this one right now, but this bike, okay, if I could explain these in like terms of cars, this thing would be like a Hellcat, right? It's big, it's heavy, it's bulky, but it's comfortable, and I don't know if Hellcats are reliable, but it's powerful, but you could still like go on a cruise with it, right? This thing is like a, man, I don't even know. This would be like a Miata with like a LS, like a boosted LS motor. It's lightweight. It hits hard, man. This thing hammers hard. It comes on and it's loud. It's really powerful. I would say out of all the single cylinder bikes we built, this is hands down. This thing is really fast. Killer brake, killer suspension. So this is like a, I wouldn't even say like a Miata anyway. It's just like a, it's like a boosted like a Pro Charge Corvette or something. It's just, the power comes on hard. However, it's so high strung, it's not something you're gonna want to ride on like 3-4 hour rides, right? This is like for just ripping, you know, ripping on short little rides and whatnot. It has no charging system, so you're gonna have to, you know, have an LED light, which we do for legality. Idle's got turned down a little bit on this guy. But yeah, so this thing is very high strung. Also, you know, this bike, you're talking the Aerox. I know there's probably 3 or 4 in the United States. Originally, I found one red and I forwarded it to Jack Cecil, which he has it on his channel. I wasn't going to get it at the time. This one kind of fell in my hands, and it got, you know, wheels. It got the full billet motor. It got a ton of work. These, again, they didn't come to the United States. They're giant overseas. They're not very big. They're not very popular here. People want them, but they're very hard to get. There's probably $12,000 into this bike. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. A lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, it's too much money. You should buy a sport bike." Well, that's cool. Buy a sport bike if you want one. But there's probably 12 grand into that bike. Again, super high power, high winding. That bike is super hot. It's powerful. Wheel comes up. You got to really know what you're doing. If you stab it around a corner, the wheel comes up. You're gonna be sliding across the asphalt. So be careful. So that's the Aerox, guys, and it has been sold. Again, we're gonna do a full video on that, top to bottom, for the owner, so he knows how to maintain it and knows the settings and what to do with it. The next bike is the Booster. This is my personal bike. I don't know if you guys can see on the GoPro, but the color is just insane on that blue. It's got some water spots on it. Again, we've got a lot of videos, or have a few. I think we have some videos on this bike, top to bottom. I'm not going to get into full details because we should have a video on it, or multiple. But there's maybe 1 or 2 of these. So this may be the rarest of the bikes. They never came to the United States, and it is not a pre-bug. It's not a pre-bug frame. Believe it or not, the only parts that this shares with the pre-bug is the motor. Everything else is different. Forks are different, stem is different, wheels are different, all the fairings are different. If you have a pre-bug, you know that you also don't have, maybe? Houston? Do we have a problem? Oh man. Yeah, my cable for my seat's not working. Cool. I saw that coming. That cable was a little bit, wasn't super confident that it was going to work. Anyways, the seat pops up and there's storage under the seat, which makes it really rare, or makes it that much more different. But probably 2 or 3. I don't know. I know there's one here in the United States. Other than this, the frame got shipped in from France. The fairings are all professionally painted. It's a BMW San Marino blue, like 2020 or 2019. I can't remember. M3 blue. Adjustable racing forks, or paoli dampening forks. There's knobs on the top. This bike is also going to fall in line a little bit more with this one. It's still a vertical motor, so it's not crazy high winding. I mean, it is. It's probably, you know, 12,000 RPM motor, but it's not, you know, this bike is going to make probably, you know, 15 crank horse. That's going to make 36 crank horse. So it's definitely a big difference. That's a lot smaller, more compact. That's going to be easier to wheelie, shorter wheelbase. And that's going to be a bike that's kind of used on longer, you know, medium-ish short rides, run to lunch. You know, as Paul would say, spin the block. you know, an hour and a half ride, 2 hours, something like that is about all I'd want to do on that bike, just because it's high winding and it's going to be a little bit more work to ride because the RPM is going to be higher. But air-cooled vertical motor, again, nothing is shared with the pre-bug other than the motor. Everything else is different. You can fit these fairings on, but you can fit them if you are experienced with welding, cutting, fabricating, bending, and even then, some of these fairings are going to be held on with zip ties. And I'll tell you that from experience because we've done it in the past, and it is a lot of work. So if you really want to run these booster fairings, guys, it's going to be a lot of work, and there's a lot of talented guys out there, but just know that it's a healthy task. So that's that bike. It does still have the 10-inch wheels. Oh wait, no, those are 12s. It has 12s. Okay. Dang, Paul, what are you working on today?
I don't know, I just popped the hood on this K-cup machine here.
Well, that looks like a
hazard.
Okay, let me hook water up to it, and then let's just see what happens.
How many horsepower do you think that thing has?
Like half.
I want you to give me like a really cheesy, like, hi, my name is Skylar with Hamlet Garage, and then I can put it in a video. So sell me like your service. Come on.
How are you gonna hit me with that right now?
Because that's how it works, okay? That's starting now, so I'm recording it, but it's just like super salesman-y, like Tom Peterson and Gloria too, bro.
I got a customer here.
Do I?
Yes.
Come on, this is your minute of glory.
What's going on? Skylar with Hamlet Garage, your local scooter enthusiast striving to keep your scooters on the road. Yeah. Buy stuff from Swapshop.
That's okay. So
I don't know.
So what? Tell us about your business. What do you do?
Whatever you really need. Maintenance, builds, repairs.
What kind of bikes?
Everything except for e-bikes. If it's an e-bike, I do basic maintenance like tires, nothing electrical.
Okay. Where'd you get all your training from? Your technical scooter training?
A lot of it was from personally fondling scooters, and the rest was from Brandon over here.
Yeah. Okay. We wish you the best of luck, buddy.
Thank you.
See ya. Thank you.
Yeah.
Last but not least, this is a twin-cylinder Zuma. This bike honestly doesn't really get used anymore. I was doing rides with it. I did a little bit of Super Sunday. I did ferry to ferry. It is actually much more rideable than you would think. This has electrons on it, mechanical water pump still, no charging system. Of course, it's a twin cylinder. You know, this bike is actually really comfortable. It's really rideable. It just anymore, all I want to do is like just chill and putt and ride wheelies for some reason. That's just kind of the mode I'm in right now. So it doesn't really get used much. This bike puts down around 31 wheel horse, and that's on pump fuel, not on race fuel. It's not cranked up real high. I try to build my bikes to be used. I don't want something that's just for the racetrack, because we can't even ride these on the track here by law. We can't take them to the quarter mile because they don't meet the NHRA rules. So liquid cooled. This is a lot of work on this bike. I've had this for probably 5 or 6 years. It's been a lot of work. Definitely one of the biggest accomplishments. We've got videos on this, of course. So all in all, each bike kind of serves a different purpose. This bike probably has, as far as budget wise, if you find a bike, if you're lucky to find a bike, you're going to pay $3,000 to $4,000 for it to do a build like this. Wheels, suspension, you know, Malossi forks, carbon fiber, packet, bike and everything. If you buy all the parts, you do all the work, you're probably going to be $6,000 to $8,000, somewhere in there. You know, you have Malossi forks on there, that adjustable race suspension. The whole tree is Malossi, and that's an $800 set, $900 just for the forks and stuff. So, yeah, 6 to 8, somewhere in there built. You're honestly you're probably 12. You're probably actually 12 to 15,000, probably into that. This bike, you're probably going to be, again, if you can even find the parts, you're probably going to be about $3,000 to $4,000 in parts. This bike, your motor's looking at, you know, $6,000 to $7,000 for everything. Remember, you have 2 pipes, you have 2 carbs, 2 intakes, 2 cylinders, right? So there's a lot of parts to it, and then your wheels and all that stuff. This bike is heavy too, guys. This is probably a 300-pound bike, and it moves out. It'll lay a strip of rubber 30 feet down the street. So Again, this is not a race bike. This is something that I try to build to be able to use on rides and short rides and be comfortable and whatnot. But this bike is probably a $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000 build. That being said, there's probably, it's probably 400 hours into labor on that bike. There's probably 300 to 400 hours in labor on that one. That one's not too bad. There's probably 200 hours in labor on that guy. That's probably 150 hours labor, said and done by the time you powder coat, drop wheels off, press bearings in, do your bushings, do your wiring, all that stuff. That's a whole new wiring from front to back. So there you guys have it. Thought it'd be kind of a cool quick video. And remember, we have videos on all of these bikes, and just keep watching. There's gonna be more to come. Also keep in mind, we do have an affiliate program that I don't talk about too often, but if you have a YouTube channel or a website or something like that, if you drop links and people take those links to our store, you get a percentage of every sale. And we have a few guys that are making $200-300 a month on that affiliate program. So something to keep in mind if you have a little side hustle or whatever, and you're doing YouTube stuff and whatnot. Make sure to check that out. The affiliate program can make you a few $100, even if it's $50 to $100 a month for pretty much doing nothing. It's something, right? This battery, this thing's, I wonder if this thing will start. Huh, I thought battery would be dead. Let's see. I think last time these electrons were flooding out, if I recall. I had some issues with fuel, but now I'm curious. Let's see what happens, guys. I haven't started this bike for, oh my god, wow. I don't know, 6 months?
Yeah.
It started. It's hot, huh? your hair is like, it's literally like glistening in the sun right now.
I got some new stuff for it, and I came in on Monday, and my hair, it was it was like the fucking, like a mane.
It had a lot of body yada yada.
On Monday. I've been trying to replicate it ever since. I haven't been able to. So I'm like, I'm kind of experimenting with the process.
With your hair. I didn't think it would start. Huh? You smell it? All these bikes, it smells like an outboard. All these bikes, that was green. That's probably okay.
Literally every time you have to like go through the carbs and everything, the fuel just like.
Yeah. It's like puking fuel right now. Look.
You want me to make you some premix?
No, because I'm just gonna park it. Yeah, that carb needs to be taken apart. Oh, what's up? That was random. Mr. Ronnie. Alright, I'm gonna put these away. I'm gonna ride this a little bit. I'm gonna continue to tune this carb, show you guys kind of what's involved, how it works. These guys are gonna go away, but again, I'll kind of do another video on these bikes, kind of riding them. Yeah, we'll start by getting this bike, the runner, closer, tuned, put a little bit of time on it, and see how it feels, and show you guys the smart carb tuning process. Idle needs to go down a little bit, but as I left off yesterday, or in the last video, you guys kind of saw where the bike was, and how much time I have. A total of an hour into installing the carb and doing some baseline. I forgot how fast this thing is. It is a monster, man. Woo. Well, right off the bat, it feels like that carb comes on harder. Whoa! It just pulls and pulls and pulls with like I'd say that's honestly probably like 10% throttle input, and you're doing 60, 70 miles an hour. That's why I really like this bike. It's like not even working to get up into the 60, 70 mile an hour range. But once it gets on the pipe, again, watch this here. So, a little bit more. Right there. So it's on the pipe, I'm not turning it, and look at the speedo. So it's not, the bike is not even working right now. Not even working. I mean, it's like barely above idle, and we're doing about 60 miles an hour. Right now, my current favorite bikes to ride are this bike, my Pre-Bug, and the T-Max are my 3 favorite bikes to ride. The T-Max is like an Autobahn, bike. A little bit, you can hear it a little rich. See, it's loading up, which is fine. I'm okay with it being a little bit rich, but yeah. So there you guys have it. There's a couple quick little rips showing you how it runs without doing any adjustments. On like tuning this carb more, but it doesn't really need it. A tiny little bit, lean out a tiny bit, but it's maybe 2 or 3 clicks, maybe 5 clicks max. So for all intents and purposes, I got it. I think I ended up going on this like 22 clicks counterclockwise, so a pretty good amount. Don't be afraid to go, you know, 20-30 clicks in one direction. That's not abnormal. So when I take this bike to ferry, I'm going to take it and lean it out even more, because I know, and what's cool is you can even write down ferry needs to be, you know, 16 clicks lean, or, you know, LA needs to be 3 clicks richer, and you just literally can document that or make it a notepad and just tune it as you get there. Just reach down, click it, and go, because this thing fouls plugs when it's in Seattle. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, we have an affiliate program if you're interested. If you guys want to get paid, drop in some links. I'll put some information down low on that. Don't crash, Paul. You can go all the way. What are you doing?
You said don't.
You can go through. Now rev it out. Just don't like just stab it. Now grab third. Now floor it. Alright. Oh, that's good.
I wasn't going that fast.
What do you think, that's a Daytona 500?
I told you. Now do you see why I want to keep it?